Hi, it's me, Jacqueline. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and join me at Patreon. Link in the description. Love and commitment. The wedding plans begin. McKayla stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the hem of her wedding dress. It still felt surreal. In just a few weeks, she would walk down the aisle, say, "I do," and start the next chapter of her life with Kate. The wedding planning had been a whirlwind of emotions, exciting, overwhelming, and at times, stressful. McKayla had always imagined finding love, but she never thought she would have something this deep, this unbreakable. Kate sat on the edge of the bed, watching her. "You look beautiful," she murmured. McKayla turned, feeling her cheeks warm. "It's still hard to believe this is real." Kate smiled. "Believe it. In a few weeks, you'll be my wife." McKayla exhaled. "And you'll be mine." It was everything she had ever wanted. But life had a way of testing even the strongest love. Family ties and tensions. As they finalized wedding details, they faced the inevitable complexities of family. Kate's family had been supportive from the start, treating McKayla as one of their own. McKayla's family, however, was more complicated. Some of them celebrated her transformation, proud of the woman she had become. Others still struggled to accept it, hesitant to acknowledge her new life. Her mother had come around over time, but her father, he still had trouble looking at her the same way. McKayla tried not to let it hurt, but it did. Kate held her hand through it all. "No matter what, you're not alone." McKayla held on to that truth. This wedding wasn't just about celebrating love, it was about building a future, regardless of who stood by them. The nightmare in the jewelry store. McKayla hummed softly as she browsed the jewelry case, waiting for the rings she had ordered. It was a simple errand, something she had looked forward to, a symbol of the love she and Kate shared. But then, she needed to use the restroom. And that's when everything went wrong. As she washed her hands, the door swung open behind her. A tall, rough-looking man stepped inside. Her heart stopped. Something about him felt wrong. Then he locked the door behind him. Her stomach turned to ice. "You don't belong in here," he sneered, stepping closer. McKayla's breath hitched. I just want to leave." He blocked the door, his grin twisted with cruelty. "I know exactly what you are. The world spun." Her chest tightened. Before she could react, he grabbed her wrist. McKayla fought back, shoving him hard, but he was stronger. She struggled, panic clawing at her throat. Then a voice. "Hey, get the hell out of here." A store employee burst through the door, and the man bolted, vanishing before anyone could stop him. McKayla stumbled back against the sink, her entire body shaking uncontrollably. The employee rushed to her side. "Are you okay? Do you need the police?" McKayla could barely breathe. She nodded, but all she wanted was Kate. The breaking point. By the time McKayla got home, she was barely holding it together. Kate saw her face and immediately knew something was wrong. "McKayla, what happened?" McKayla collapsed into her arms, the weight of the moment finally crushing her. She sobbed, deep, painful, body-shaking cries. She told Kate everything. The fear, the helplessness, the words the man had spoken. How, for the first time in a long time, she had felt like she wasn't safe in her own skin. Kate held her, rocking her gently. "You're safe. He's gone. He can't hurt you." But the scars he left behind weren't physical. McKayla had worked so hard to feel whole, confident, strong. And in one moment, that had been ripped away. Kate cupped her face, looking into her eyes. "Listen to me. That man was a coward. You're stronger than he will ever be." McKayla swallowed hard. "Then why do I feel so weak?" Kate's grip tightened. "Because you're human. But you're not broken. And you're not alone." McKayla clung to those words, clung to Kate. She had survived so much already. She wouldn't let this define her. Love is the answer. In the days that followed, McKayla struggled with fear, doubt, and shame. But Kate never left her side. She reminded her every day that she was still McKayla, still strong, still worthy of love. And when the day of the wedding arrived, as McKayla stood at the altar, looking into Kate's eyes, she finally understood something. The world could be cruel, unfair, dangerous. But love was stronger. And she was not alone. As they exchanged vows, tears streamed down McKayla's face. Not from sadness, but from hope. Kate was her home, her anchor. And with her, McKayla knew she could face anything. Together. The first year. A love that grows stronger. Marriage didn't change the way McKayla and Kate felt about each other. It only deepened their love. Every morning, McKayla woke up beside the woman who had stood by her, fought for her, loved her unconditionally. Every night, they whispered about their dreams, their future, their forever. Yet, the past wasn't so easy to leave behind. The trauma from the attack at the jewelry store still haunted McKayla in ways she didn't expect. Some nights, she woke up gasping for breath, the memory flashing in her mind. Other times, simple things, a crowded space, a stranger's stare, made her pulse quicken, her chest tighten. She didn't want to be afraid. And Kate refused to let her go through it alone. "We'll figure this out," Kate told her one evening as they sat curled up on the couch. "You don't have to fight this on your own." McKayla nodded. For Kate. For herself. She had to heal. Seeking help, finding strength. The first time McKayla sat in a therapist's office, she felt exposed, uncertain, vulnerable. Talking about what happened was hard. Reliving it felt impossible. But with time, with patience, with Kate holding her hand every step of the way, McKayla learned how to face her trauma instead of letting it control her. Her therapist taught her how to rebuild her sense of safety, how to separate the past from the present. "You're strong, McKayla. What happened to you does not define you." She repeated those words to herself again and again. And slowly, she began to believe them. An unexpected call that changes everything. 6 months into their marriage, McKayla and Kate sat at their kitchen table, sipping coffee, talking about their future. They had started to discuss children, wondering when, or if, they would be ready to start a family. That's when McKayla's phone rang. She picked it up, expecting a routine call, maybe a follow-up from their coaching job or an old friend checking in. But the voice on the other end changed everything. "Hello, this is Starlight Adoption Services. We have 2 young women who have asked specifically for you and Kate to adopt their babies." McKayla's breath caught. Kate, noticing the sudden shift in her expression, leaned in. "What is it?" McKayla put the call on speaker. "The mothers are both around 15 years old," the woman continued, "and they've chosen you too because they admire your story, your strength, and your love. They want their children raised in a home that understands what it means to fight for happiness." McKayla and Kate exchanged a look of awe, of disbelief, of fate stepping in once again. "The babies are 3 months apart," the woman added, "and they'd like you to take them both when they're born." Silence stretched between them. McKayla's heart pounded. Kate reached for her hand, squeezing it tight. "Do you want this?" McKayla blinked back the rush of emotions. A year ago, she never would have imagined this moment. But now? Now she knew the answer without hesitation. "Yes," she whispered, voice thick with emotion. "We want them." Kate grinned, tears forming in her eyes. "We're going to be moms." As McKayla looked at the woman she loved, at the life they had built together, she knew their greatest adventure was only beginning. A new chapter, coaching and family. Flashback, 13 years ago, the first time holding their daughter. McKayla sat in the hospital chair, her heart pounding as she looked down at the tiny, fragile baby cradled in her arms. She was so small, her delicate fingers curling around McKayla's thumb. Her reddish blonde hair shone under the soft hospital light, and when she blinked open her green eyes, McKayla felt something inside her shift forever. "She's perfect," McKayla whispered. Kate sat beside her, leaning in, tears glistening in her eyes. "She looks just like you." McKayla couldn't stop staring. She had always dreamed of being a mother, but she had never imagined a love like this. The nurse smiled. "She's all yours now." "Congratulations." McKayla and Kate exchanged a look, one of love, of awe, of the realization that life had changed forever. Kate reached over and brushed her fingers along the baby's tiny cheek. "Welcome home, little one." And just like that, their family had begun. 3 months later, a second blessing. It felt like déjà vu. 3 months had passed, and once again, McKayla and Kate sat in the same hospital, waiting to hold their second daughter. When the nurse brought her into the room, McKayla felt her breath hitch all over again. She was just as tiny, just as perfect. Her light brown hair framed her round cheeks, and when she opened her light blue eyes, she took in the world with a quiet curiosity. McKayla gently cradled her in her arms, her heart overwhelmed with love. Kate leaned close. "She's beautiful." McKayla kissed the baby's forehead. "They both are." Their family was complete. 2 daughters, 2 lives to protect, love, and cherish. And they wouldn't trade it for anything. Present day, coaching the next generation. 13 years later, the sound of skates carving through ice filled the arena. McKayla stood behind the bench, watching as her daughters, now teenagers, strong, confident, and full of life, practiced drills with the rest of their private school's hockey team. Their oldest, now 13, had grown into a natural leader, quick on her feet with her mother's fierce determination. Their youngest, just shy of 13, was quieter, more strategic, but just as passionate about the game. McKayla and Kate had spent the last decade coaching, mentoring, and raising them, shaping them into not just great players, but great people. Family wasn't just a word to them. It was everything. A love that never wavers. As practice ended, the girls skated over, flushed and laughing. "Mom, did you see that shot?" the eldest asked, eyes shining with excitement. McKayla grinned. "I saw. Perfect execution." The youngest nudged her sister. "She's just being nice." "That wasn't perfect." Kate laughed, pulling them both into a quick hug. "You were both amazing. And you know it." McKayla watched them, pride swelling in her chest. They were growing up so fast. She thought back to that moment in the hospital when she first held them, and her heart ached with the beauty of it all. This was the life they had built. Not just as wives. Not just as coaches. But as mothers who had given everything to their daughters. And no matter where life took them next, they would always have each other. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access.